Funny how your perspective changes when you suddenly have a more of a budget to work within.
You're like, oh, that's pretty.
I can work with that.
Ew, no.
Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome to another day. We're in the Lowe's parking lot, walking in to check out some different flooring / mostly flooring options, right? Okay, so what we're doing here at Lowe's is we're trying to, well, what are we trying to do?
So we have a construction consultant now, which has been amazing. I don't know if every area has them, if they always call themselves that, but it's our neighbor who is heavily involved in the construction industry. She flips houses and she's been doing this for 20 years. We brought her the plans of what we want to do and we talked about all the finishes, and at the end of our 2.5 hour meeting, she was like, Mike went to the bathroom.
Why do you have to add that?
Well, because I was kind of like, so just tell me, is this crazy? And she's like, you were trying to build a $2 million house for, not $2 million. And she's like, you need to, and she kind of pointed out some things we need to do, and I realized and
I kind of mentioned that in the previous video, they went and redesigned the whole floor plan.
So it was not just that redesigning, but when you go to Pinterest, it's so helpful, but it also creates this idea that it's kind of like when these young people do weddings these days, their expectations are huge.
Because of all these wedding magazines and stuff.
Those are $1 million weddings, and so she's like, so she gave us a budget for flooring needs to be this and finishes need to be this. And so instead of looking at everything and deciding from the whole wide world of finishes what I like, I need to look at these things that are this cost and below.
This is price per square foot.
And build my design around those, right? And so
it's really good because she knows that if it's at that price, we should be able to be at this price per square foot total for the house.
And do the house for this cost.
It all kind of adds up, obviously.
And so we're here at Lowe's, which we do love Lowe's, to bring my expectations down to reality. We're gonna look at carpet, we're gonna look at mostly just flooring. Which we did on the previous video.
I don't think we're gonna be able to use the flooring we found there, remember? We found that unfinished pine.
No, I thought it's cheap, it's $2 a square foot, and she's like, that's that, but it's $8 a square foot to install.
Because they have to finish it.
Because they have to sand it and then seal it and stain it and stuff, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So she knows about installation prices, and so we're here. She wants us to find a pre-finished flooring, whether it's a pre-finished wood or a laminate or a vinyl, whatever. And then she just gave us numbers for all the different types of flooring, and I'm okay with that. I can just tell me what I have to play with, and then I'll figure it out. And so I'm here now to face my reality, but happily, and go, okay, that's what we're going with.
It's good to have some
Let
limitations.
me figure out how to work with that.
Okay, what are we looking at here? Pergo? Yep.
So laminate.
It's funny how your perspective changes when you suddenly have a more of a budget to work within.
You're like, oh, that's pretty.
I can work with that.
Ew, no.
You turn your nose up at it.
You're like, that's pretty, right? But
Might be a little dark.
Printed. Okay.
Well, we just need to look at what it costs.
Engineered hardwood would be, if we did solid wood, it needed to be pre-finished and less than $3 a square foot, which none of those meet. They get closer.
There's a $3.99 up there.
But she thought we should do engineered hardwood because it just clicks in, so your insulation's really cheap.
And she said $3 is what we're shooting for. So you got $2.99 here.
That one's got the scraped look. Kind of pretty.
Okay.
Nutmeg, you already have a sample of that.
We're grabbing all of our samples here.
Okay.
I wonder if we would see things differently if we went back to that
Yeah, we probably
floor
would.
decor and more, or whatever it's called.
Another thing she told us is that if you get a tile like this, it's pretty cheap per square foot, but the installation is so much harder, especially if you did a rig, that your price goes way up.
for
So
install.
she really recommended for a backsplash to get it
Mosaic.
on mesh, you know?
She called it mosaic.
Or,
I don't
yeah,
know.
like something like this, so that when you put it, it's not difficult for them to like each brick, you know, perfectly placed. So,
Each tile.
which I was planning on. And so
We thought
now-
that would be cheap.
Yeah,
But
and so
it-
now I'm looking at the options where you don't do that.
Are you seeing anything you like?
I see lots of things I like. I think this is beautiful, but you know, don't you think that's pretty?
It's really pretty.
I think that one is pretty.
The one you just pulled out, right?
This one?
That one, yeah.
Yeah, that one's really interesting.
What did she tell us? She said to try to get around $10 a square foot for this
Or less,
stuff,
Yeah.
which is per piece when it comes down to it.
Yeah, I don't like the littler ones. That's the problem. Is like 43. Do you see where that is? I think they're individual tiles.
Well, there are these down here. Oh, Carrera. Yeah, not that.
Oh no, that's got the gold in it.
Yeah.
This is pretty. These marble. It's a little gray for me.
So the numbers that we're working with are based on what we're trying to pay per square foot for the house. And so she kind of engineers it, or what did she call it?
Reverse engineer.
Reverse engineer, where you say, okay, here's how much I want to pay per price per square foot for construction. And at certain levels, we're talking certain prices for certain finishes. So she kind of, with her experience, knows
Then you need a
where we
flooring
wanna be.
about this price.
Yeah, so she's like, okay, here's where you want to be for your flooring, for your trim, all that kind of stuff. So we can kind of, it gives us parameters to work in and look at. So that's how she's kind of come to those numbers for us. We've put together all the information, and she's taking that now she's going to take that to some builders and start trying to get some bids.
Yeah, she's doing that this week.
So she's doing that this week. And, which means we probably won't actually get a bid back for another couple weeks, because it takes a while to figure all that out. But we're finally at the stage where we've worked it all out now, that we're going to see what kind of prices we're talking about, and hope that we're close to where we want to be for our budget.
And then let me tell you something. No, that it is so different when you're having a builder do it versus when you are DIYing something, where you're like, ooh, I could go find this cool tile and do that. If you bring that to a builder, he's going to be really frustrated with you.
What do you mean?
Like if I go and find some reclaimed tiles and bring them to my builder, suddenly
Well,
you
just
can have
gonna
two
charge you a lot
packages.
more.
You can have a house where it's bid per square foot and all of that, and this is how much it's going to cost. Or you can do this cost plus, where we can do whatever, but he's going to charge you so much more to build that house if he has to be open to, oh, I
All the
brought in these
changes.
reclaimed doors or whatever. And so I have to just give him a product, and he purchases it. He does everything. If I want to keep my price per square foot really low, and we don't have unlimited funds, so we need to do that. And
Yeah.
and then all of the custom things we get to do after we move in and kind of play around and change that way.
Yeah, because where we live, if you're gonna a project our size, you have to have a general contractor to permit it. We can't DIY the house. That's what it comes down to. So we have to.
We're learning.
Yeah, we're learning how this goes, but that's where we're at.
Okay, well, let's just keep looking. It's not like we're. Oh, look, is this it? Yeah, I mean, that's beautiful. But that's
It's also more expensive.
than what she said. But
course.
I bet we could find something like it for cheaper.
We probably go back to that other place.
I like that it's not too varied, but there is still some warmth in it. I do like that. But I'm sure we could get that cheaper. I mean, because it's actually marble.
Oh, right. Okay, I think we've looked at all the flooring we can look at. We didn't find any tiles we liked, but we did find a lot of the hardwood type stuff. Now we want to look at their ranges here. So,
Cabinetry, the builder great cabinetry.
oh, we want to look at the cabinetry as well. What we're kind of dealing with. Okay, they don't have any real ranges here that we like. We're hoping for a double oven range. That is apparently hard to come by.
So we got some samples in there, and we're just talking about how we probably should go back to that floor and decor store. When remember I was like, they had nothing I like. Am I that picky? And it's like, yes, you are. That's what I realize now. This week, I was humbled, was brought low to realize that I'm literally looking at floors that like the richest of the rich buy. And that's what's hard about the internet. Like, when you're doing it that way, right? I knew that, like, oh, I didn't know how expensive. And I thought, well, maybe some things you get expensive and some things you go cheap. And it's like, well, with your budget, is what she was pointing out, everything needs to be cheap. Well, or you need to have a smaller house, right? And I realized I would rather, like, why would you want to have a smaller house with nicer cabinets? Because you can always get nicer cabinets in the future, but adding square footage, that's so much harder. Same with flooring, same with all of your finishes. And so I started up here and thought, like, well, I can negotiate on some things. Learned pretty quickly how, like, unrealistic a lot of my expectations were. Not, I shouldn't say unrealistic. I don't want you to think that I was like, I want diamond chandeliers. It was really like, I have no idea about the cost of anything.
Well, this is part of the equation. Where we're located at,
you're paying premium for the
a lot of money, really, for the lot when it comes down to it, just to be in the place that we want to be. So that means that eats up a lot of your budget, which is okay because we want to live.
We still want that
in
trade-off.
the town that we're in. So it is kind of an expensive town to live in. So that's part of what's.
I mean, it's all relative, right? Because I'm sure some of you out there are living like in Sydney or something, which is like insane.
Yeah, there are places that are very expensive, but for us, that does eat into the budget that we have available to build with. So that's another trade-off. It's like, would I rather, just anyone says like, well, if you want to go build in this place, you could.
Yeah, we could go live in a small town in North Carolina, like an hour from here, and pay a fourth, probably in the end.
Right. But
maybe a half.
We really value the location, so we're willing to. Basically, you are making a sacrifice as far as maybe finishes go and square footage to live in that place. And
we're valuing the location not so that, like, because it gives us a certain lifestyle and gives we've lived in the country before. We were
thinking about doing it again for a while there.
We used to have like 4.5 acres in the country. We had all sorts of animals: chickens, llamas, pigs, goats, a pony for a while.
Before we ever had a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
or did any of that.
That would have been fun though, huh? It would have been really fun. It was beautiful and great, but the way that we homeschool, we wanted more interaction with the world. Like, we wanted our kids to have more access to more things
without us having to drive them there.
Yeah, or even if the drive it's not very long. And so we then went and traveled full time for a couple of years, which really hit the spot for homeschooling. But now we wanted to have the ability to live in one place and have our kids be able to walk to a library, walk to like a shop, walk to classes and interact with the community, walk to work, and then also have that experience for ourselves. And so it needed to be a safe town. It needed to be of a certain size and anyways. So that's why we're choosing to live where we're choosing to live, and we don't regret that. But it means that first, I don't even know what things cost, and second, I have to do some trade-offs to get the square footage and style of home that I want, but maybe not my dream flooring. Because I'll tell you what my dream flooring is. It's reclaimed, wood from, like, that would be amazing. It's got all this character, but those are like $30 a square foot. You can get them cheaper, once again, like I said, if you can do a lot of the work yourself. But when you're building, you can't.
Well, with a general contractor.
So maybe in the future we will work something out and we will put in our own reclaimed floors, or I don't know.
But we kind of think that maybe once you moved into a house and lived there, the floors kind of disappear.
Yeah.
You don't care that much.
You get close enough. Will you really care?
Yeah. Or is it really going to matter to you?
So there's so many layers to making those decisions, and we're so grateful for Joanna, who, you can remember her name, like Joanna Gaines, right? Joanna is helping us be realistic.
Well, it's not Joanna Gaines.
No, her name is not Joanna Gaines, but her name is Joanna. She's helping us be realistic, like be always connected to reality as we're navigating this, which is so helpful. Because as fun as it is to dream, the whole time I have no idea if this is realistic. Some of those things have been great and fine. And others have not, and so it's so much less stressful to work with her. So when we say, well, what about this, she's like, yeah, well, that's gonna cost this. Or if we say, what about that, she's like, great. So it's awesome.
Helpful.
Yeah, we couldn't have done it without her, or we could have and been incredibly unhappy and stressed all the time.
Well, and just there would have been way more unknowns, which would have caused
and we would
problems.
have gone to the builder expecting to have that back and forth on all of those decisions, and they wouldn't have wanted to work with us. It would have been like, dude, you need to figure this out. you know, or I'm going to charge you a lot if you really want me to consult you on every little bit of this house. Okay, Pearl. Everybody always says that we don't show you enough. Which Pearl's like, and it's exactly how I like it. And right now, Pearl has been into jewelry for a long time, but you're adding to your jewelry repertoire clay. And so she's got a clay extruder, and now you're doing some clay cutouts, and then you bake these in the oven. Is that right? So that's cool. You got all those fun shapes and fun colors. Super cute. Oh, and those for hoop earrings?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Love it. We just checked in with the kids, asked if anybody wanted to come. They're all like, no, which is good. I mean, it's not fun. It's not fun. I get it, but you know, sometimes you feel bad about leaving them, but they all wanted to be left.
Do you want this one?
No, I don't want a single layer. That's doing the same thing.
Oh.
I have one. Sorry, mask troubles. So we're gonna head back to the store that I before didn't like anything at, now with my new understanding of reality, and see if I've changed my mind on some of these things. Like a dog with its tail between its legs.
We're back. See if a different perspective, a different price point changes our mind as far as what our budget is. Also, this time you remember to wear your mask when you came in. Good job. Megan likes these for bathrooms, and they're actually, the price is right.
So she said when it comes to wood floors, they need to be pre-finished, whether it's hardwood or engineered, because the installation of a pre-finished floor is super fast.
And
versus,
which means cheap.
Like she's like, you can't afford to have a sand and finish in a home for what the price we want to pay.
Right.
I can't believe how different everything looks when you have reality.
Yep. You're more open to it.
This is kind of like the one at Lowe's, isn't it? I think we got a sample of this.
Okay, this is some vinyl flooring we found that we like how it looks. Yeah. We didn't know that you can actually do stairs with this type of flooring. We're gonna take home this as our sample of what we like. It's a vinyl plank.
There's a few things I liked about it. I think the color is really nice. There's a lot of variation in it. But a lot of them, when you look at it's so detailed that it looks like a photo.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little softer.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look quite as fake. And then from the side, it doesn't have like the plasticky ridges, which some people probably like because wood can have that. This one's really smooth and barely has.
Yeah, you don't really see that.
But it still doesn't feel as plasticky. I don't know. I'm just real happy with it. This looks kind of pretty, huh?
Yeah. The long ones here. Is that the same thing? Yeah. That's cute.
Yeah, I like it with that creamy. It looks very timeless. Want to take a picture of that?
Yeah, well. We're just looking at different applications.
Wow. Wow factor. It's incredible.
It is pretty. It's incredible.
It looks awesome. It's incredible.
I like these marble mosaic things. Those are really cute. That might be fun to do a shower in, that sort of thing.
Which one do you like? This one up here?
That one.
Megan's liking that.
It's got a really fun, playful feel, but still isn't too much to be a little bit timeless, I think.
Well, we don't know how much it actually is, so. Sometimes they have
Somebody
stuff
just
up.
asked if we need any help, and we're like, no. And then we're like, what is this?
Megan likes this as a possible backsplash.
Yeah, like to do the whole wall
See that?
in the kitchen like that.
It's actually pretty cheap,
If
too.
I did that, though, I would not do my black and white floors. I would just probably bring the vinyl plank into the kitchen.
Since this can have water on it, it's okay.
And then, which is an idea, and it's really cheap.
Yeah.
But look at all the patterns they have.
Oh. Is this all the same price? Oh, this is even cheaper over here. It's so pretty.
So this is only $1.29 a square foot, but can you imagine if the walls all the way up to the ceiling in the kitchen were,
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
it would be beautiful.
It's really pretty.
The argument to be made is, because I was going to do a tile in the kitchen, in like the mudroom, but this stuff is waterproof. And if
Yeah.
you from the living room into the kitchen, if it's the same flooring, it always just is more pleasing to the eye than to break it up.
Yeah.
So, and then they would probably be happier if everything was just the same flooring. There's no transitions.
Oh,
There's
cheaper to install, you mean?
Yeah, and there's.
They don't have
And
to
then
line
if we
anything
ever
up.
change our mind, this is a lot easier to take out than ceramic tile. The ceramic tile's not that bad. So
Yeah.
maybe I give up on my black and white floors and think more like I get to have my wow factor in there on the wall. Because I wouldn't want to do this and black and white floors.
We made it out. Now what are you doing?
I'm trying to pull up some things from Pinterest to compare them with some things I saw in there. I can think of all sorts of beautiful things to do with your home. I mean, you're like, that would be beautiful, but you have to be like, pull back, pull back, pull back. What are you wanting to, what kind of furniture do you want in there? Like, what is the room next to it going to look like? And so, I'm sure you guys can all relate. So it's like, that would be a beautiful Mediterranean kitchen, but is Mediterranean really where you were going? Sort of that idea.
Okay, we got it back home.
Pulled out all the samples. Some I'm already like, absolutely not. I don't even know why. I don't know why I even took that.
See, this is good.
That's a pretty print on it, but it has a too bit of a, see that? Here, you can see it in the camera. Look, babe. See, I don't like that look.
Where you can see the bumpiness.
Yeah, I know that real wood has that too. I just don't like it.
We don't like real wood.
Well, no, this is like this is the one flooring. That one's not as bad, but I don't like it. What is that called? The
Pergo?
No.
Laminate?
No, the pressed wood, I think.
Engineered?
Engineered hardwood.
Okay.
So I don't.
Okay, so none of those are.
No.
No? Okay.
This one, no.
Wow.
I don't know why I got them.
Everything
but this
from
one
those.
is still pretty. This is an engineered hardwood. Has a little bit of
Little wavy gravy to it.
yeah, a little bit, and it said acacia on it, and this one's also acacia, so that must be.
Okay.
It's not the same brand or anything.
Right, but
acacia must be a wood.
Wow.
This one, see, this one has a lot of that texture on it too. It's an engineered hardwood.
Right.
No, this is Pergo. But I decided in the interim, after I did some research, that I don't want Pergo. Sorry, Lowe's. Should I bring those back to you?
maybe. Take them back. Put them back on the shelf.
These look so similar.
They don't look that similar to me.
Oh, really? They don't to you? I think the color, this is just a lighter version, and the pattern's very similar, and it's smooth. This is this is an engineered hardwood.
So this is, I'm going to guess this is cheaper than that.
Yeah,
I took a picture.
you did.
Uh-huh.
This one was how much?
Well,
$2.99, I think.
Yes, it was $2.99.
And
You're
the
right.
plank is wider than these are, so you're gonna get,
Yes. What is it on the bottom of this stuff?
these.
Yeah, what is...
It's wood. It's just layers of it's like
This
plywood.
this is going to be softer.
This has
Underfoot probably because it has cork.
Cork.
Probably quieter. Maybe. Oh, yeah, I think you can put an underlayment under that.
But
probably.
listen, they sound very similar.
I don't know what that really.
And this is, more real wood, and it's very pretty. But I
don't
think
remember
this is
how
pretty
much
too,
that stuff
and this
was.
is like undamageable, really. I mean, not undamageable, but like this, you can drop something and dig into that, and there's nothing you can
It's
do
over,
because it's
pal.
not. You can't sand it away, that sort of thing.
Well, you can't do that to this either.
I know, but
this
when
is just
you drop something
more.
on it, it's not going to do that. And if you get water on this, so like if I did this, I have to do tile in the kitchen.
Oh yeah. Well, we didn't talk about how you.
So I was gonna do black and white tile in the
Might
kitchen
not.
because I love that, right? But when I was reading all of the things about kind of these new vinyl plank floors, these kind of luxury vinyl plank, they're like impervious to water, and they are like, you can hit them with like a hammer and it doesn't dent it. And
We should take a hammer to this and see
and
how
so
good it
then
really
you
is.
could just run this floor all the way into the kitchen, because if you look at the floor plan here.
Are we showing the floor plan? We haven't showed this yet.
This is messy. This is like a crappier version of it, but
Wait, this
here-
is. We're really showing this right
This
now?
is not like a huge reveal, but just here from the family room, there's some sliding doors right here into the kitchen. And so when those are open, which is probably often, it would be nice for the eye, for the flooring to continue.
True.
So, I mean, what's nice about that house is because it is more of a closed floor plan. You can do different floorings in the rooms and it makes sense. But it would also be nice to have you know, this sort of thing. And I think it's beautiful. I'm going to get on Pinterest and put in the name of this so I can see it like there are ads for it in a room, you know.
Oh, right.
But these both are my front runners.
Okay.
This feels colder than this. So I wonder if vinyl is actually a little warmer than wood.
Yeah.
You want to feel it? What do you think?
Right. This is slicker than this. I don't know if that matters.
It's got the more rubbery feel. And that's
I
why.
want to know which one's easier to clean. What do you think?
This.
Okay.
Because you can use a wet mop on it.
I think this stuff was waterproof, wasn't it?
No, this is not Pergo. This is the wood flooring. This is the laminated hardwood.
Locking hardwood flooring.
So it's got a veneer on it.
It's a veneer.
But it's pretty. It's very, very pretty. So you should look up the cost of that one and tell me what it is.
Okay. Okay. We forgot to end the video. Skipped right past that day. It's actually a few days later. But we finished up with the flooring stuff. Looked up some of those prices. Actually looked up some of the reviews of that. The flooring from Lowe's. And it did not get great reviews. A lot of people said it scratched pretty easily. So I don't think we'll do that one. I think we'll, if we do one of the ones we already picked, we'll stick with that vinyl plank. So, but we'll see. There's a lot can happen between now and when actual construction happens. So we could change our minds about 5 more times and probably will. Oh, dogs. So thanks for coming along. Like, comment, subscribe. Go to knorppandsouth.com for any more info or questions or any of that stuff. And we'll see you later. Bye.